Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of August 26th, 2020. Fair amount this week, so let's get right into it. First up, we have Action Comics number 1024. Yes, this is the variant cover. I'm not a John Romita Jr. fan, so I did not get the main cover because he's doing the art on the book, and it is really hard to read. But yeah, Bendis is doing okay on Action, but again, it's difficult to really get a grasp of the story because John Romita Jr.'s art is just, it's abysmal. Next up, we have Amethyst number 5 of 6. Can't wait to see where this book ends up. It's a book that's very, I think, aimed at a younger audience, but I'm enjoying it because I actually think the character Amethyst is interesting. My niece loves it, and she can't wait to read it whenever it comes out. She's going to be bummed when next issue is the last. Next up, we have Batgirl number 48. This is the Joker War Collateral Damage tie-in. So you want to be snag this up if you're trying to get all those Joker War tie-ins. But yeah, so far Joker War's been really good. I've enjoyed all the tie-ins I have read. I haven't read a lot of them. I'm a little behind. But yeah, definitely one of those crossover tie-in events that's decent and not bad. Next up, we have Batman Superman number 11, and Bat and Supes are going up against the Ultra Humanite, so we'll see where that takes them. But yeah, Batman Superman's been a good series. Williamson's done a great job writing basically the world's finest book, and I've enjoyed it myself. Next up is the big book, I think this week, and probably this month, and probably maybe even this year. So it's book 1 of the series, and we're finally getting it, and that's Batman 3 Jokers from Jeff Johns with art by Jason Fabok. And man, oh man, I actually read this at the end of last week because we got our shipment early. I snagged a copy, read it, and oh man, is it amazing. It is probably one of it. Jeff Johns and Fabok do such a great job, and like just bringing you to that moment of like when you were reading Watchmen for the first time, or reading Doomsday Clock, or when you're reading The Killing Joke, like these really memorable stories that resonate and will resonate for a long time. They've done it with this, and man, it is so solid, so great. Get yourself a copy, check it out. It's supposed to come out weekly so the book 1 and then book 2 and book 3, I think that's what I heard. So be on the lookout for that next week as well. But if you do get it, your store hopefully got the promotional item, which is a nice little playing card. So you can get a playing card which features Joker and Batman. So yeah, so if your store got the promo, you should have gotten a copy of your little Batman Joker playing card. So be on the lookout for that. Next up, we have Billionaire Island number 5. Need to read issue 4 and 5, but Billionaire Island is hilarious. Mark Russell really captures just pointing out how ridiculous things in society are today. It's just fantastic satirical stuff, and I can't get enough of it. It really harkens back to his Flintstones series, and if you haven't checked it out, you really, really need to. Next up, we have Black Magic number 13 from Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott. I didn't actually read issue 12 yet. Again, I'm behind with the whole, readjusting to my day job and my kids going back to online learning. There's been a lot going on. So, yeah, so I'm going to hopefully sit down and catch up. I've been trying to read a little bit more while I'm working at the shop and just plow through some stuff, which I've been able to do. But yeah, this is a huge week, so what I got caught up on in the past few days that I worked, I just basically added the same amount of books back. So we need to get ahead. Next up, we have Dead Body Road Bad Blood number 3. I read the first issue, loved it. Loved the original Dead Body Road series. You should definitely pick that up in trade. So I can't wait to dive into issue 2 and 3, but Justin Jordan did a fantastic job with Dead Body Road, so I'm glad to see it continuing. Next up, we have another Joker War Collateral Damage tie-in, and that's Detective Comics number 1026. So we'll get to see some more of what happens with the Bat and stuff while all this stuff is going on with Joker War. So be on the lookout. Next up is Dr. Tomorrow issue 5, which I believe is the last issue. Let me double check to be on the safe side, because if it is, then I will read it and most likely purge it. Yes, it looks like the end. So, 5-issue mini, Dr. Tomorrow. It's okay. It's not the best thing that I've read from Valiant, but it's not horrible. So, next up we have The Flash, number 760. Williamson's done a fantastic job on Flash. His run is going to be ending soon, so we'll see what happens with that and where he goes from here. But man, Flash has just been a really solid book since the New 52. So if you haven't, you need to go back and read Flash since like 2011. It's fantastic. A lot of Flash is really good. The stuff before that was a little eh. But the Jeff Johns stuff, Mark Waid stuff, there's definitely stuff that, I mean, I haven't read all of the Wade stuff and all of the John stuff, but I've heard great things. I've read the majority of the Johns and I like it. Next up, we have Justice League Dark, number 25. What can I say? Justice League Dark's amazing. It's fun. It is what it is. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. Next up, we have Legion of Superheroes, number 8. More Bendis stuff. We talked about Legion on the podcast last night a little bit, and I do think that Legion of Superheroes is kind of Bendis' ode to kind of the teen years of life, where, you know, you're going through a lot of changes. Things are, you know, you think you can make an impact on the world, and sometimes you falter and all that stuff, but I think it really just hits at the core of who high schoolers are and teenagers are overall. And so I really enjoy like that aspect, and I think looking at that aspect for Legion is a good sort of filter for it. So we'll see, but I've been enjoying Legion. If you haven't checked it out, do. It's good. Next up is one that we got shorted a few weeks ago and finally got our copies back in, and that's Oblivion Song, number 26. This Robert Kirkman book's just great. It's fantastic. It's a good story. Check it out. Next up is, I think, the last book in the series, and it's a Black Label book, and that is The Question Deaths of Vic Sage, number 4. Yeah, I read by Jeff Lemire. I mean, guy's amazing. The art is fantastic on it. It really harkens back to just who it is. But yeah, yeah, it looks like this is the last one. I think this is the last one. But man, this question series, fantastic. If you haven't read it, you need to. If you get the chance to get that hardcover that comes out for it, do so. Next up, we have another Joker War Collateral Damage tie-in, and that's for Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 48. Yep, if you're getting those tie-ins, snag them up, people. Snag them up. Next one is one for my son, and that's Star Wars Adventures, The Clone Wars, Battle Tales, number 4. So yeah, so he'll get this, and he can put it in his little collection that he's started. Let's see. Excuse me. Next up, we have Suicide Squad, number 8. So yeah, so Suicide Squad 8. Looks like somebody's going to get their brain blown out. We'll see. It's been a great one. Suicide Squad by Tom Taylor is fantastic. It's good stuff. Not to mention, I'll get to the DC FanDome stuff after I do this after I do my pull list. But man, the Suicide Squad panel, get to it. Next up, we have Teen Titans Annual number 2. Yep, it's Teen Titans. It's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people might think that, well, why are you saying if it's okay if you don't really care? I've just been reading it for so long. I'm kind of waiting for this series to end, and then yeah, I'll probably get rid of the issues that I had. I enjoyed it for the story it told me, but it's nothing that completely resonates. So yeah. Next up, we have That Texas Blood number 3. I really enjoyed issue 1, and I ended up putting it on my pull list because I hadn't picked it up. I just read it off the shelf, but yeah. That Texas Blood was really good, number 1. I need to read 2 and 3. So hopefully it keeps that kind of, just impactfulness that the first issue had. And finally on my pull list is Wonder Woman number 761. And it looks like we have the return of Maxwell Lord, even though he's kind of already back. But, yeah. Tamaki is done a fantastic job on it. We don't have Mikhail Henin as the artist, but I think he's on for a couple off, which I'm fine with, as long as they understand that some artists aren't necessarily as quick as others, and they follow suit. That's fine. Is decent stack of variants, so get ready for it. Batgirl number 48 had a pretty awesome variant, so I snagged that one up. Three Jokers has a ton, so let's get through it. The 50-50 variant is the Batman Three Jokers with Batman on the cover for issue 1. There was a 1 in 25 variant, which is this super green-purple one right here. There was a 1 in 100 variant, which I'm not paying $150 for. And I believe there's a 1 in 450. Why a random number of 450, I don't know. But yeah, so there's a couple extra variants out there. But the ones people are probably most excited for are the different Joker variant covers for each book. There's going to be 9, 3 for each issue, and here we are. So we have the Red Hood Joker right here. We have the Killer Fish one right here, and of course we have Joker with his favorite toy, the ever explosive dynamite. So yeah, so be on the lookout for those when you go pick up your 3 Jokers. There might be one cover you like, or you might be a sucker and get as many covers as you can, like me. Next up, we have variant for Flash 760. I thought that was a cool Link variant. I don't know how to say the guy's last name. But yeah, really good. Justice League Dark 25 had a pretty awesome variant cover, so I snagged that one up. Legion of Superheroes number 8. Of course, had a great Dustin Nguyen variant, so I picked that one up. Probably one of my favorite variant covers is this one from Sorrentino, and that is for the Question, the Death of Vic Sage, number 4. That is an amazing cover right there. Just fantastic. So yeah. Red Hood Outlaw 48 had another great Philip Tan cover there. Suicide Squad, of course, 8 had the connecting variant one. I think connects with the rest of them that are coming out. And I grabbed the Wonder Woman 761. So that's a pretty cool one as well. So that's pretty much it for this week, except guess what? It's the last week of the month, which means we get previews, which means we got issue 384 previews. This is September previews for stuff released in November. It's got some Stranger Things on that side, and it's got crossover from Donny Cates and Image on that side. But yeah, this is the previews. And of course, you'll have to grab your Marvel's previews if you want to get the Marvel books out of there as well. DC has not yet released their checklist for the month. Most likely when they do, I will grab that and show it to you here. But that's basically the only way you can get DC physically is a checklist. They are all online with their solicitation and ordering. So yeah, I've been just transitioning over to ordering stuff occasionally when it's first dropped, but really just ordering stuff at last call for order because I don't want to sift through an entire digital PDF of their solicitations because I like having the physical thing. I'm weird, but yeah, that's just me. Yeah. So that's it for this week's pull list. But I really wanted to quickly talk a little bit here about what happened this past weekend, and that was DC FanDome. On Saturday, August 22nd, DC had a 24-hour streaming event of basically a whole bunch of pre-recorded panels that they had basically calling live, as in they were streaming live. But they talked about a lot of different stuff and had a lot of great content. Excuse me. But the big takeaways, I think, are that we got to see the cheetah for the first time in the new Wonder Woman trailer. We got a Batman trailer for the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, which they've only filmed about 25% of the movie, and with a trailer like that was that amazing. Oh man, if you're not pumped to see the new Batman movie off of that, I have no idea what's wrong with you. Definitely looks like something that is gonna break box office numbers. Black Adam was teased from The Rock. We didn't really get any trailer per se, but we kind of got a motion comic book explanation of possibly the story for the book or for the movie, as well as kind of a little bit of an origin for Black Adam. So we'll see what that entails. Of course, that's not going to come out until after Shazam 2, which they're hinting. Which Shazam 2, they didn't release anything, but again, looks to be like it's going to be something pretty fantastic. That panel I didn't actually see myself or the Black Adam one, but we talked about it on the Comics Conspiracy podcast excuse me, last night, and I did watch a couple of the things. The other big thing for movies was, of course, the Suicide Squad panel, which showed who everybody was in the movie, and oh my God, is 18 people in that movie is ridiculous. But a lot of the Z-list characters they got coming in are just amazing. John Cena as Peacekeeper is fantastic. But yeah, there's so many other people that I can't mention right now, but if you get a chance, check out that behind-the-scenes teaser release trailer that they released of the Suicide Squad. It looks pretty good. And James Gunn directing, we should be in for a treat with the Suicide Squad movie. I'm trying to think. Oh, a couple video game trailers were released. Gotham Knights from WB Montreal, and who did the Arkham Origin game, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I enjoyed it, so hopefully it stays within the same vein. And of course, Rocksteady, I can't remember, I always get the two confused. But they're releasing the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game that looks fantastic. Didn't see gameplay footage, just saw a cutscene, but man, was that a great cutscene. So makes me want to buy a PlayStation 5 at launch to be able to play Horizon Forbidden West and these two games, because there's already 3 games I want to play that are coming out, and this rarely happens. Normally I'm just kind of, I'll play it down the road, but I think these are going to be day one purchases, and I haven't done that in a long time with a video game. We'll see. Yeah, so if you got a chance, excuse me, getting back to the new schedule sucks. If you didn't get a chance to watch DC FanDome, you can catch kind of snippets and highlight stuff on YouTube. But I definitely recommend going and watching the trailers from these things. They were fantastic. What else? Why do I feel like I'm missing something? They did that. They did that. We talked about that. If we had the Flash. They talked about the Flash movie. Didn't really show anything from it, but we did get kind of what Michael Keaton's going to be potentially in the movie, all that stuff. So tons of stuff technically that came out of this. Oh, the Snyder Cut, that was the other big thing, which my computer froze, or DC Fandom was overwhelmed when this thing dropped when it was live streaming. So I had to go back and watch it, the trailer for it on YouTube. But yeah, it looks interesting. The 4-part 1 hour increment things, I don't know if I'm the hugest fan of that release, but then they're gonna cram it all together in the 4-hour movie, whatever. So we'll see, but that's out for HBO Max next year. Some of the scenes we saw were pretty interesting. We did get a couple scenes that we saw in previous trailers, so we'll see what that entails. Because I remember, like, people were, after Justice League came out, people were like, "Where was this? Where was this?" Because there was a lot of stuff from that early trailer that we didn't see in the film. So we'll see. But yeah, DC FanDome. If you didn't get a chance to check it out, you should. DC's doing another event in September with more of the content that they didn't feature on the DC FanDome website. So be aware of that and when it's going to be coming. Once I get a solidified date, I will let you guys know. But yeah, that's it for this week's pull list. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the comment section right below here. And, let me know what you're picking up. Let me know what you think. Yes, I know. I think I said October prior month. Or another October instead of August on one of these prior ones. But hey, I'm human. I make mistakes. But yeah, let me know what you're picking up, what you're curious about, all that fun stuff. If you have any questions, please keep it nice. The internet is a kind of place anyway sometimes. So let's keep this area of it nice. So yeah. You can also listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just finished recording episode 465, where we basically talk for 2 hours about DC FanDome and what came out of it. So if you want more on DC FanDome, there's a link in the description below. You can go check this out there. If you want to help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon, you can do that at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees and getting products. So thank you very much to all of our Patreon backers. You keep it so we can keep doing this and keep getting stuff and giving you more and more content. So I know I need to unbox these things back here for you guys. But yeah, hopefully I'll get to that soon. Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. I also want to just pimp a couple things here. There'll be a link in the description below for each of these. But I recently backed two things on Kickstarter. One is Nocternal from Snyder and Tony Daniel. The other is, I can't recall what it is off the top of my head right now, but I will link it in the description below. But it's another, original graphic novel thing that looked interesting to me, so I decided to back that one as well. But you should definitely check out Nocturnal. They're almost up to 150, which if they reach the stretch goal, then basically they'll give a little bit more content on release. So I hope they get there, because man, Nocturnal looks amazing. It's going to be coming out from Image next year. But this is kind of like a tease, or this is like a kind of a preview for those who are backing the Kickstarter. So click on the Kickstarter, or click on the link in the description below. Head over there and check it out. You can also pick up Comics Conspiracies Detective Comics 1027, the Mitch Gerard's variant that we have. It's an amazing, amazing cover. Links in the description below you can buy it from our website. You can buy a regular copy or a signed copy. There's also links if you don't really want to do the website, but you're on eBay, for a regular and again signed copy. So yeah, so basically click on the links, you can get that stuff. That's it for this week. Fair amount I need to get to reading. I got to get to my daughter's orthodontic appointment right now. But you guys will be enjoying this after I get it up. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.